Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl Gina and it's Gina's Signatures. Yes, I've been offline for about 5 days. Yeah, I've been so deep into work. So I decided to create this beautiful tutorial because my client wanted it. This gown with an asymmetric neckline and a collar that is asymmetric as well. She used the same color of fabric that is navy blue in color and it came out very beautiful. This is like a corporate wear. You can wear it to your office, you can wear it to functions. It actually came out very beautiful. This camera is not doing justice to this at all, so please ignore the camera. This beauty came out very beautiful. So if you are thinking of what to resume your work next year with, please kindly make this beautiful piece because it's very lovely. So I made use of 2 yards of fabric for my clients. So depending on your size, if you're on the bigger side, I would advise you go for 3 yards or 2.5 yards. So I'll be cutting both the front and the back at the same time. So I folded it based on the biggest part of the body, which is the hip measurement. And then I'm cutting the length of my client, which is 46, because this is going to be about a 3/4 gown. So the next thing to do now is to just take your basic measurements, shoulder divided by 2, the armhole depth, and then of course you're going to be connecting it like so. So the next line to get now is going to be our half length or our waistline, and then you roll that out, and then you're going to be getting either your shoulder to your hip or your waist to your hip measurement. So for my clients, I marked 9 inches, and that is what I'm rolling out. So we have our bust, waist, and then our hip measurement ready. So we're just going to be imputing that. So divide your bust by 4 and then you add sewing allowances. The same thing is applicable to the waist area. The only difference in the waist is that you're going to be adding 1 inch for that before you add your sewing allowances. And then for the hip measurement, divide by 4 and then you add 2 inches. So whatever you have on your hip line is what you're going to be taking all the way to the end of the gown like so, and then you connect appropriately as you see me doing. So after getting that, we're going to be inputting our data. So to do that, divide your bust span measurement by 2. Then you mark it on your chest line, your waistline, and then your hip line. And then connect into a straight line. And then on the waist area, you're going to be taking a half inch. And then from your hip line, you go up by 3 inches. And then you connect as you see me doing. And then from the chest line, come down by 1 inch. That is for the front. So you can see that is on the front that I'm marking this. So in order to cover out your armhole, get the midpoint of that, come in by half an inch and then connect. So I'm sloping my shoulder by 1 inch and then I added one half an inch for joining on the shoulders. So for the back neck depth, I made use of 1 inch, and then for the neck width, I made use of 3 inches. So for the neck depth for the front, for now, I'll be making use of 3 inches as well. So I'll go ahead and then connect all this together, and then I'll remove my zipper bulginess by half an inch for the back because we don't want a situation where we wear our clothes and it's bulgy. So do well to remove that. So I'll go ahead to cut out the back piece like so. And then cut out the armhole for the back. And then slope your shoulders. So now separate the front from the back so that I'll make some adjustments. Yeah, so for the back, I'll just slit open and then remove the bulginess of the zipper that came in by about half an inch. So this is what we have. I'll set this aside because we'll be coming back to that later. So now for the front piece, I'll adjust the neckline and then I'll adjust the armhole. I forgot to adjust the armhole right there. Please don't forget to do that. So now I'm extending the lines that we have here because I want to make sure that this dart is on the other side of the gown like so. So just make sure you extend the lines like so, and then you take your nipple to nipple measurement from that middle point that you marked. So if your middle point, if your nipple to nipple is 7, from that point you're going to be marking 7 inches. If it's 8, you're going to be marking 8. So whatever you did on this side, we'll be repeating everything on this side so that it will be easy for us when we're sewing. So now this is for the front. So for the neckline, for the symmetric neckline, I'll be maintaining the reverse side of my fabric because I want this thing to be on the other side of the fabric. By the time I turn it, it will be on the left hand side. You understand what I mean? So for that side, I came down by about 5 inches. And after using 5 inches, I was not comfortable and then slanted like that and then cut it out. But I was not comfortable with the shape it gave me. It was not deep enough the way I wanted it. So I'll come down again by 1 inch. Even before I fixed the collar, I still came down by another 1 inch because I just wanted it to give me that slant, asymmetric shape in the front. So you can see. So for now, I'm okay with this, but later on, I'm still going to be um, making it deeper. So you can see the neckline, it's already shaped out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out facings for that. But before that, let me show you I'm going to be putting my dart for the back. So for the back, the lines are there, so I just decided to use my chalk to roll that out. And then take my bust band measurement and mark on the chest, waist, and then the hip line. So on the waistline, just taking half inch from the hip line, go up by 3 inches and then connect like this. So for the back piece, you don't need to come down by 1 inch from your bust point. So we'll push it back to the other side and then roll out the lines like this. So all this is just to make it easier when you're sewing because it's not going to be having a lining. So the first thing I did there was I took out my zipper allowance before taking my bust band measurement so that everything I have here is going to be the same thing on the other side. So just connect like this and then you're good to go to sew it. So this is what we have. So you can see that everything is looking good. So I've gone ahead to cut out my facing. We all know how to cut out facings, and then I joined them on the shoulder area because I'll be using this facing to turn the collar around the neck region because I don't want it looking mushy. So I've gone ahead to join my fabric on the shoulder. I've gone ahead to impute my darts for the front and then the back, as you can see. So you can see, and I went ahead to give it a very good press. So you can see what we have. So this is how we're going to be placing the facing on it, right sides facing each other. But before then, I'll be cutting out the collar first before using my facing to turn it. So let me set it aside. So now you can see that one side of the collar is deeper than the other side. So we're going to be measuring from one point, that pointed part, to the back of the zipper because it's not going to be the same. So you can see what I told you that I adjusted again. So it's better you adjust later than for it to be too wide for you. So just keep adjusting until you get what you want. Because if you go ahead and cut it too wide, you're going to be regretting that. So now I'll take the measurements on this side. This is the longest part. So take from that pointed part, from that like this, take it all the way. Don't get to the zipper because the collar is not going to be entering the zipper. So you stop 1 inch before your zipper and then you take the other side as well. I haven't gotten that, so you take the remaining fabric, you fold into two like this, and then you fold again. So this folding again, for example, the first line that I measured, I got about 16 inches. So instead of me folding 16 because it's folded into two here, so I'll be folding 8 inches, then plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. That's half inch on this side, half inch on that side. And when you're folding this, make sure that you have enough space for you to do the slant for the collar. So I had to refold now. So I'll just mark out my exact measurement for the collar and then extend by about 5 inches or 4 inches on how pointed you want it to be and then slant it down like this. So this is what we have. This is the longest part of the collar, and this collar is 5 inches in width. If you want yours to be 4, 3, that is entirely dependent on you. So I'll go ahead and sew these pointed edges and turn it out and give it a very good press. But before then, let me quickly cut out the shorter part of the collar. So I'm going to be following the same process. So the shorter part was about 12 inches. So when I measured it, so what I'll be cutting now is 6.5 because of with my joining allowance of half inch on both sides. So I'll make sure that I have about 5 inches extra to make my pointed neckline. So just slant it down like so. So this is what we have. So I'll go ahead and cut this out. So now we have our colors that we're going to be using for both sides, as you can see. So I'll go ahead and sew it on both sides by half inch, turn it out and give it a very good press. So I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what we have. So you can see we have the longer one, and then so by the time we fix this is how it's going to be looking on the fabric, as you can see. So now I'm going to be placing this on the around the neckline like this, and then go ahead and sew it and stop 1 inch before the zipper. I'll place the other side as well and then sew it like so, and then sew it and stop 1 inch before the zipper, and then use my facing to turn it so that it will be sandwiched in between the facing. So I've gone ahead to do that, and then this is what we have. So you can see that our gown is already coming out looking very beautiful. So the next thing to do now is I'll fix my sleeves and then fix my zipper and then fold the hem of the gown, and then voila, we are through with our tutorial for today. So you can see I've gone ahead to do that, and this is what we have. This is looking very beautiful, lovely and corporate. So if you enjoyed watching this tutorial, please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to share. And like I always say, mm, if you have any questions, please you can kindly leave it in the comment section. So I'll be fixing my zipper off camera because I didn't really have the color of the zipper at hand. So I'll just go and get it and then fix it. So that is the end of this tutorial for today. Thank you all and God bless you. And like I always say, this is Genius Signatures and I'm signing out. Bye. Thank you.